So we talked about being carbon neutral as a municipality, and we did not talk about forcing that upon our residents, but lo and behold, guess where we are, talking about forcing it upon our residents. I do not believe the role of city government is to create our own utility and impose upon residents a mandate that they eventually push to 100% renewable energy. I actually don't hear residents saying, hey, politicians in the city of Hermosa Beach, tell us how much renewable power we should buy, as opposed to keep us safe, maintain our infrastructure. I think those are the priorities, safety and infrastructure, not creating our own utility. And then imposing upon the residents, this is the percentage of renewable power you must buy because the city politicians mandated that for you. I completely disagree with that. And what I also see happening is that what was presented to us from Lancaster was that one of the reasons that the portfolio was 35% renewables because they're buying renewable energy credits. So they're not even necessarily buying as much renewable energy as you would think. They're buying the credits to offset the non-renewable energy that they bought, so the fossil fuel energy that they bought. So to me, and one of the reasons they're doing it is because that's the only way to keep the cost down. If you can't keep the cost down, people will not do it. So you have to keep the cost down. The only way you do that is to buy all these credits, get people into the program, and then once they're locked into the program, then you stop buying the renewable credits because at some point you actually do have to stop and start buying renewables. Then the price goes up. People won't even know what hit them. People are going to be forced into this program. They can opt out if they desire. I'm going to speculate that most people won't even realize what's going on because very few people actually watch our meetings and see all this stuff that we're discussing. Their bill will just get switched. And then over a period of time, their costs will go up. But in addition to that, in terms of how you force this philosophy on the residents, you start at 35%. And then in a few years, the council says, you know, we're not going to offer the residents a program to only buy 35% renewables. It's going to have to be 50%. And then give it a number of years, and before you know it, the council will not even offer the residents a program to get 35% or 50%. Residents will no longer have a choice because 5 council members will have decided that every resident in the city of Hermosa Beach must become carbon neutral. And it will cost them more money because it is a fact that renewables cost more money. So for all of those reasons, I don't agree. Now, I don't mind being convinced. I don't mind having the county, somebody credibly come to me and explain to me how it works. I like competition. I am all for competition because right now we know Edison has no competition. When I met with Joe and he presented it to me, hey, I like competition because it actually drives the price down. There is no question in my mind. We do not have economies of scale. And so this is the way it's going to go. We form our own CCA. And if we guess wrong, then the city is going to have to subsidize power for the residents. And so I will briefly explain how that's going to work. There will have to be a prediction made of how much power is needed, and then contracts will be purchased. If more energy is, and then based upon that, we will determine the rates for the residents. If the guess is wrong, we're locked into those rates for the residents because that's what we decided the rate would be. That's what the council decides. If we're wrong, the city has to pony up the difference. When you have a large CCA with many cities involved, then the risk is spread across all of those municipalities. If it is just us and we guess wrong, we've got 2 things that happen. One is we subsidize residents' electricity costs. The other is that we've actually overcharged, which means it becomes a hidden tax that the residents will not really realize. And so I don't see why the city now should be taking on that risk or the possibility of a tax on our residents. It just defies logic to me because I don't think that's what we should be doing. So I have asked multiple times how this works, and basically the response has been a cut and paste of what Lancaster says in an email. That doesn't work for me. We should not move forward on things if we don't understand. I'm not saying we, because I think I understand it. The city and the staff should not move forward on recommending things that they don't truly understand. I appreciate what you said, Joe. You understand what you're talking about. I appreciate that. I want people to know what they are talking about before we start making these decisions that affect our residents. So let me see if I have covered all of my thoughts. To spend $77,000 when we don't have to, when going with the county isn't going to cost us anything, I don't agree with it. I think it's just spending money just to spend money. And philosophically, I just don't like it. And I don't think this is what the residents have ever said they wanted. And I I don't think we have the right to dictate this to our residents. So those are my lengthy, verbose comments.